Hello everyone and welcome back to another video, and yes, the FIA today have announced the calendar for the F1 2024 season. Very early, it has to be said, considering we're not even really at the halfway point of the 23 season. But yes, for the first time ever, it will be the longest F1 season that we've ever had, with 24 races, going all the way back, of course, to 1950 when the season first began, with I think 7 or maybe 9 rounds. I remember that some of the rounds weren't even championship rounds. So we've gone from a 7-round series now to 24 rounds of the championship. And what I want to know is that really too many? And is it a big mistake to increase the amount of rounds, considering we're entering this dominant era of Red Bull? I mean, it's quite possible that Max Verstappen next year could win 24 rounds of the championship, which will be horrible for the sport. Great for Max, and yes, fantastic Max, well done. But for the sport, it will be absolutely terrible. Anyway, let's go now to the official Formula One website and discuss. The 2024 Formula One World Championship calendar has broken cover with a run of 24 races that begins in Bahrain and finishes in Abu Dhabi. So what are the main differences for this upcoming campaign? The season begins with 2 Saturday races. For the first time since 1985, a full World Championship Grand Prix will take place on a day other than Sunday this year, when the lights go out for the much anticipated inaugural Las Vegas Grand Prix at 10 p.m. local time on Saturday 18th of November 2023. In 2024, Bahrain and Saudi Arabia will join Las Vegas in making it 3 Saturday races on the calendar. The former 2 accommodating Ramadan, a period of fasting, prayer and reflection observed by Muslims around the world, which begins on Sunday, March the 10th, one day after the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. It means everything will shift forward a day for the opening 2 events, with the media day taking place on Wednesday, the opening 2 free practice sessions on Thursday, FP3, and qualifying on Friday, and the main event, the Grand Prix, will be on Saturday. Formula One calendars are complicated things, with some races needing to be at certain times of the year, otherwise it will be too hot or too cold to go racing. It makes slotting each race into the calendar an interesting challenge. In the pursuit of a more regionalised calendar, which in turn will make the sport more sustainable, 3 races have moved position for 2024. The Japanese Grand Prix is the biggest mover, switching from a September date to April in the heart of the country's beautiful cherry blossom season. Freight can now move from Australia to Japan and then on to China to improve the efficiencies of travelling. The Azerbaijan Grand Prix moves from an April slot to September, and this is the first of a back-to-back with Singapore. And finally, Qatar shifts from October to the first weekend of December as a stop-off from Las Vegas on the way to Abu Dhabi. China is set to make its first appearance on the F1 calendar since 2019, its absence down to the ongoing difficulties presented by COVID-19. And of course the fact that nobody really wants the Chinese Grand Prix, and there wasn't any COVID-19 last year, so yeah, I will be very surprised if China actually makes it onto the calendar again. It's been promised since 2020 and it still hasn't materialised, and I really cannot see China being on the calendar for 2024. This means F1 will have a bumper 24 races, with an additional 3-week summer break remaining in August, plus an additional 3-week pause between Singapore and Austin, and a 2-week breather between Brazil and Las Vegas. Now it says check out the full calendar below, but I've actually got a better picture of that, and that is right there of the actual season for 2024. So here it is, and as they clearly said in that little bit of a press blurb, that they were trying to homogenise the races so they didn't have to, spend as much on transport costs. So now we've got round 6 is in Miami, after China, and before Imola. Excuse me, Formula One? Let's look at the end of the calendar here. Oh, look, we can clearly see we've got USA. Yes, that's in the USA. We've got Mexico. Wait, isn't that near the USA? We've got Brazil. Well, not too far from the USA. We've got Las Vegas. That's definitely in the USA. But no, we won't have Miami. No, we won't have that with all the other USAs. No. Don't be silly now. Don't be silly. Unbelievable. So let's have a look now at the 2024 calendar before I start ranting forever. We start with round 1 in Bahrain, which is pretty traditional now. Unfortunately, Australia seems to have taken a back seat to be in the prestigious first round of the championship calendar. So now it is Bahrain. We've got Saudi Arabia once again in second position at Jeddah. Australia's been moved down to third place. Still on the podium though, but down to third now. Fourth round is in Japan at Suzuka. Fifth round, I'm still going to say that is not going to happen. It's going to be in China at the Chinese Grand Prix. Yes, but I can't see it. I really cannot see it the way the world is at the moment. But we will see. Please feel free next year to completely ridicule me in the comments section of this video. Then we've got Miami, which is in the USA, and nowhere near China, no, or Imola, actually, no, thousands of miles away, but well done, yes, keeping the transport costs down, apart from Miami, yeah, we'll just gloss over that one, yes. Then we got Monaco, yes, then we got Canada, then Spain, Spielberg. Round 12 is at Silverstone, and it's quite traditional now, sort of beginning of July slot. So there it is. Well done to Silverstone. Well done for Silverstone to still been on the calendar, to be honest. But anyway, we got Hungary, round 13, Belgium, round 14, then the Netherlands, Italy, Azerbaijan, Singapore. Then, of course, we've got the long USA sort of celebration tour at the end, which it always is. Yeah, celebration of USA seems to be at the end, basically because I think Liberty Media aren't they sort of a US firm? Aren't they? Liberty. I'm not quite sure, but I'm sure there's something to do with the US anyway. Yes, I'm just taking the piss because yes, Liberty Media are a US company. In the UK, they actually own Virgin Media. Yes, for anyone who's interested, yes, that's owned by Liberty Media as well. Yes, even though it says Virgin, you think, oh, Richard Branson, don't be fooled. No. Richard Branson sold the rights to that years and years ago. Anyway, so yes, we start the American tour in Austin, Texas. Then on to Mexico, yes, with the mariachi bands. Anyway. Then we go on to Brazil, Las Vegas, Qatar is round 23, and round 24 is in its traditional slot. It's Abu Dhabi, of course, yes. So well done. So there it is, the 2024 calendar. 24 opportunities for Max Verstappen to win the race. I just think it's a big mistake to have this amount of races. Apart from anything else, of course, the crews, the mechanics, are going to be tired. Now, before anyone complains about that, yes, I know they do a rotational basis now, which they've done since 2019, I do believe, where a lot of the mechanics are rotated. So they only actually do about 12 races a year. And it's on a continuous rotating basis. Of course, it's based on if other people are sick or whatever, then you might have to jump in and do 13 races a year. It's all done like that. But yes, as I understand it, all the crews are continuously rotated. So they do not go to every single Grand Prix. So they won't go to all 24 rounds. It'll be on a rotational basis. That's how I understand it anyway. But of course, that's like the mechanics and stuff like that, like the big bosses, they've still got to be there for all 20. I mean, Toto Wolff will still be there for every single of those 24 rounds. I mean, there was, I think, one round last year when he said he wasn't going to turn up, and he did actually turn up anyway. So, because he just couldn't stay away, I don't think. But yeah, anyway, the bosses will still be there for all 24 rounds, and it's just too much. It's an oversaturation of the product, which at the moment people are tuning off because of the fact that Max's total dominance is just ruining the sport. I'm going to keep saying this because it's ruining the sport. Still no disrespect to Max. There's nothing else you can do about it. But domination ruins the sport. I'm sorry, it just does. And if you're going to increase the races, you're going to make people drop off to sleep even more. Because that's more chances for us to see Max Verstappen win. And I'm going to make a very bold prediction now, as it's not even halfway through 2023. I'm going to say, the same as 2023. And that is that providing no engine problem or a problem with the car, I reckon Max Verstappen next year will win every single round of the championship. You heard it here first. Take that soundbite, record it on your whatever you do, your screen captures, and make sure you batter me over the head with it next year when I'm completely wrong. But that's my prediction. I reckon he'll win every single round if his car stays in one piece and doesn't blow up. That's just what I think is going to happen. And of course, for the viewing public, it's going to be ridiculous. I mean, do you remember the days when F1 wasn't an event? It was on, bi-monthly. Yes, every 2 weeks we had F1, and it was something to look forward to, because we get a week off without the F1 on a Sunday, and and then the next week, F1's back, and it was something to be exciting, to be thrilled about, to get excited about. And then we got that first practice session, and it's been 2 weeks, and we were like, yes, we were hyped. But there's going to be nothing with this, because it's 24 races. It's going to be one after the other, after the other. Big long break, 3 weeks break with no Formula One, and then it's just going to be one after the other. And everyone is going to nod off to sleep. Everyone is going to nod off to sleep. This is not the answer. You can't just keep increasing races and think, we'll make more money if we're losing it in viewership by just... That's not going to happen, because more and more people are just going to get fed up, and more people are going to stop watching Formula One, and it's going to be a very, very sad state of affairs. Me personally, I am very, very concerned at the direction Formula One has been going, probably since 2020, I have to say. It seemed to be, on a pretty even keel back 2020, but I just look at it now in 2023, and it's like a rudderless ship. No one's at the helm. No one exactly knows what they're doing, which was clearly evidence on Sunday with the track limits farce, and it was an absolute farce from start to finish. I mean, we had that race last year, didn't we? What happened to the cut track penalties then? Yeah, so I'm just very, very concerned about the direction that F1 is going, and it is going in a completely wrong, and there's no one there to sort it out. Liberty Media, this massive whatever company, all they're interested in is making the money. All they're interested in is the show. They're not interested in the actual Formula One racing itself. That's no interest to them whatsoever. It's all about the show. It's all about the build up to the Grand Prix. That's why they have so many presenters, all these, drivers telling you what they have for their breakfast. Nobody cares about that. All we want to do is sit down and watch an exciting race on a Sunday afternoon. We don't care about sprint races. We don't care really about practice sessions, to be honest. If it's on, we'll watch it, but we don't really care. We just want an exciting Grand Prix on a Sunday, and sadly, we're not getting that, and I don't think we're going to get that for a considerable future. I really don't. And it just saddens me. I've been watching Formula One since 1988. 1988. I've been through all those times. I've been through the death of Ayrton Senna, which was very painful for me, and I've explained that in earlier videos. I've been through all of that. I've been through the good times. I've been through the bad times. But one thing I've always done is kept my devotion to Formula One. But it's waning. It's really, really waning now. And I don't know what the solution is, but adding more circuits to the calendar, it's definitely not the solution. It really isn't. It's just compounding a problem and making it's a sticking plaster. That's all it is. It's a sticking plaster on a massive problem. And the massive problem is that Liberty Media need to wake up and try and save Formula One before it's too late, and it ends up like the World Rally Championship, which, as everyone knows, back in the days of, the 2000s, it was a massive thing, was the WRC. It really was. And now it's renegated to highlights, I think, on one of our English channels, Channel 5 or something. That's it. And nobody watches it anymore. Nobody watches the World Rally Championship anymore. And I I just feel this is what's going to happen to Formula One in 4, 5, maybe 6 years' time. It's just, and it hurts me here because I'm an F1 fan through and through. I've got all the qualifications. I'm broadcasting on a channel that does only F1. Okay, I've got all the qualifications. I am a die-hard F1 fan. I know people who talk to me and say I just can't be putting up with this, and I keep saying to them, just don't base it on a bad season. Just next season it may get better. But I am reaching that point myself now where I'm just like I just can't keep saying to everyone, oh, it might be all right next year, because I don't think it will. I really don't think it will. And it's just heading into a very bleak future. And from 2026, from what I've been hearing, the future's going to be even bleaker with these new engine regulations. It really is. So, yeah, let me know in the comments what you think about this 2024 calendar. Apart from the fact I know you're going to say, yeah, it's way too much. 19 rounds is a perfect Formula One calendar. It really is. That's the sweet spot. That is the sweet spot. I mean, even when you're playing the F1 games, how many people now go through like 23 rounds? You can't be bothered. It's like, no, I'll shorten it to 16. That'll do, because that's all you need. That's all you need. Because if you've got like 23 circuits, you can mix and match the circuits around and make it more exciting for you in future seasons. But nobody wants 24 rounds of a championship. Nobody wants it. Liberty Media, you're not listening. You're not listening to the diehard fans. All you're interested in is the TikTokers and all that lot who are coming in with their Chinese-made money, because that's what TikTok is. It's a Chinese company, and it's just ridiculous. It really is. You're listening to stupid people, and you shouldn't be. You should be listening to the diehard fans of F1, and they want an exciting race on a Sunday. That's all they want. No sprint. Forget about the sprint. No one wants that. Nobody wants that. It's just a tiny diversion from the race. That was proof in the pudding last week on that race. When you advertised that sprint race, so much more than the main race, it's unbelievable. In fact, it was pathetic. I was watching this and thought, I don't believe it. I don't believe the hype you're giving this sprint race, and you've got nothing for the main race at all. And it's the main race that's the most important. Anyway. Whew. That's it from me. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. Let me know in the comments what you feel about the calendar now, and whether you think it is too much. And I'm going to go for a lie down now. And I'll catch you in the next video. Thank you and good night.